heel lifts or calf raises, as people know them very well. A very well-known, simple exercise, but time and time again proven to be incredibly effective for both healthy tissue and injured tissue. So we'll go through both of those. So of course, doing a heel raise or calf raise, as you may know, of course, is loading that posterior chain tissue predominantly under the foot and then those calf muscles, creating capacity and the ability to withstand load in the calf muscle. Of course, when you're running, that's what's happening. You're going under constant cyclical loading and the unloading and pressing off of the calf musculature and its associated tendons. So when you don't have the capacity or the strength to withstand that load, then sometimes that's when you start getting a little bit of pain, and that might lead to a little bit of injury. So these exercises are great not only for hopefully mitigating some of that potential injury, but also when reestablishing capacity and strength after injury as well. So we'll show you a couple ways to modify for both types of tissues. So what we'll need potentially is a step and a wall, which we have created here. And also we're going to put a little twist on the calf raise with adding in a towel or something to squeeze between your feet. So I'll show you the exercise and we'll tell you why. So of course, we'll do with 2 legs to start. The calf raise is coming up and going back down. Now what happens oftentimes, and I'll show you with my back facing you, is that a lot of people tend to come out into inversion or maybe well-known supination at the top just to get a little bit extra range of motion. So I'll show you what I mean. So they'll come up to the top and then roll to the outside, and their ankles will go out or their heels will go out this way. So by putting the towel in between your ankles or your feet, you have to maintain that squeeze as you go up and down, therefore preventing the tendency to come out with the midfoot and come to the outside of that foot. So let's break it down. So grab your towel, then place it just between your ankles. Find a nice secure wall, and I want you to load the balls of your feet. Spread those toes out like we've been working on, and then we're simply going to raise up. Notice the possibility of you wanting to separate and then lower down. For healthy tissue, feel free to drop below the step, heading into a little bit more dorsiflexion. Try and maintain that toe spread and then come back up again. Exploring that full range of motion, nice and slow and controlled. For tissue that might be injured, calf raises are a great way to build up capacity, staying within a healthy range. Tendons, which might be irritated, like your Achilles tendon perhaps, don't like to be squished. So don't worry about dropping below a step. If anything, start on a flat surface and then come on up to your top range and back down to a flat range. So build up capacity in this range, okay? And then as your tissue gets a little bit more tolerant to load, then you can then start dropping off the end of the step to explore a fuller range of motion. Once you're great with the towels and you are finding that those calf raises are easy, you're able to do 10, 12, 15 reps without fatigue, then what you want to do is start increasing load. And the easiest way to do this is then to transfer your weight over onto one leg. So we'll start by going up together, transferring over to one side. Now you can do a full single leg load with control. Or if that is still too difficult and you're not able to control it, maybe there's a tiny bit of pain if you're recovering from an injury, you can offload with the other leg slightly and then come up together, and then you can switch to the other side. So doing a single leg calf raises, focusing on the eccentric part, so the lowering part first, is a great way to start. Then, again, once that's becoming really easy, you can do multiple sets of 12, 15 repetitions of those quite easily. We need to load it some more. So then we're going to go up and down with control, slowly and controlled, in that line without that compensation of coming out, because you don't have that towel feedback. Then you can start building up the capacity with doing single leg raises and lowers. If you're at the point where you're loading that single leg and you can do those 15, 20 repetitions without fatigue, then you can start, maybe you can use a little backpack and start increasing load that way. But start with that progression, double leg with the towel, then the transfer over to single leg with the lower down, and then the single leg raise and lower. And utilize this. You can put this into your daily routine, or maybe every second day, since you're starting to add load here, giving your calves a little bit of a rest, and start building up that tissue capacity so that it can withstand all that load that you're working on throughout your training.